Hi everyone, Amanda here. Welcome to the first installment of Spiritual Formation with Amanda. I am looking forward to our practices together and hope that this time is a time of new beginnings for you that will help to overcome some of the COVID fatigue that we all are feeling. It has been 7 long months, and I know we're all wishing and anticipating that we could be back to normal. But normal is relative, and so this can be normal. And part of the reason why I'm choosing to do spiritual disciplines is because this is something that we can have in our tool belt, our mental health tool belt, if you will, that can help us to overcome some of the fatigue that we may be feeling and to really focus on our relationship with God, on our relationship with others, and even our relationship with ourselves. So today's exercise that I'm going to be talking about is coming from the Spiritual Disciplines Handbook. And so this is a book that I will be using very heavily in my videos and in my talks. I really have appreciated being able to use some of these disciplines in my life, and I'm looking forward to trying some new ones with you. And so this week I will be doing with you the centering prayer. And so I'm going to go through and basically just kind of read what's in the book of what centering prayer is. And it's going to be a little bit different because centering prayer isn't about talking. Centering prayer is about being in the moment and just spending time in a quiet space. So this is what she says. Set aside a minimum of 15 minutes and increase the time as you can. Set a timer if that helps you. Be less concerned about when to stop. I'm going to say that 15 minutes is a lofty goal. Centering prayer is a lot like mindfulness practice, if you are familiar with that. It is difficult, and so 5 minutes might be all that you can handle in the beginning, and that's okay. Next, settle yourself into a comfortable position. So this is, sit in a comfortable chair, find a spot in your house that you love. It might be you're sitting on your back patio. There's no specific place that you need to do this practice, but make sure that you're comfortable. If you're going to fall asleep, lying down might not be the best position, but maybe it is the best position if you're most comfortable that way. The next is intentionally place yourself in the presence of God and in the center of His love. Now, you got to use your imagination here, and it might feel really weird in the beginning, but I can tell you, I have used something similar to this in my mental health practice, which is called mindfulness. And neuroscience tells us that mindfulness or centering prayer actually changes the brain structure, and it helps us to be better, to not lose our cool as much, to be more grounded. And so this is really important. Choose a simple word or a phrase or a verse from Scripture that expresses your desire for God. So love, peace, grace, Jesus, great shepherd. And let this word guard your attention. So this is very important. You are going to be distracted. Absolutely no question about it. Probably about 15 seconds into your practice, you are going to be distracted. Thought will come into your mind. You'll be like, this is kind of interesting. I don't know what I think about this. This feels kind of weird. And all of a sudden, you realize that you're no longer intentionally in the presence of God. And so you need a word, a phrase, or a verse that brings you back. It could be love. It could be Jesus Christ. It could be Great Shepherd. It could be Creator. The word doesn't matter. But what does matter is that you don't judge yourself for being off somewhere else, because it is going to happen. And know that great people who practice this have had to hone this skill, and they still get distracted. Have grace with yourself, recognize that it's happened, and then bring yourself back into that presence and just use that sacred word that brings you into the presence of God. Take time to become quiet. And here she says what I've said, that it is not unusual for the first minutes to be filled with many noisy thoughts. Don't worry about them or pay attention to them. Let them go by and gently return your thoughts towards God and being in the center of God's presence and love by repeating that sacred word. And just rest here. This isn't a time for talking. It's not a time for bringing all your petitions. This is not what centering prayer does. This is not what it is. There's a time for that. But just rest quietly in the presence of God. And when you notice your thoughts drifting away, you come back and just let them drift off. It is a difficult practice to begin, but once you're able to sit in the presence of God for 15 minutes and just bask in His love and bask in that moment of grace and mercy and rest, it will transform you. There is no doubt about that. And I hope that we can connect and that you can send me an email, give me a call right on the bottom of this video about what your practice has been like. I will be practicing this with you, and I will probably be setting my timer for 5 minutes and then increasing to 6 minutes and 7 minutes and 8 minutes as it gets easier. But there are people, there are heroes of the faith who have practiced centering prayer and have been able to sit quietly in the presence of God for an hour. So let's look at this as a new practice. Let's be gracious and gentle with ourselves, and let's be in the presence of Jesus, in the presence of the Holy God, the Trinity, 3 in 1, that we would know Him better, that we would trust in God, that we would know that in this presence we are safe, we are loved, and we have a purpose. God bless you, everyone.